we know the law of conservation of matter, law of conservation of energy. Now I am introducing a new law. It's called the law of conservation of intelligence.
Together testing something, and instead of doing a git pull, we're like giving a command to AI to get on git pull.
Pick a domain, find the most critical problem in that domain first, and try to solve that. This is what I call the engine problem.
Yep. So Shailesh sir, let's go back a little. So in 1998, you did your PhD in machine learning, right? So this was a time when, this was a time when, let alone people in India, people across the world knew very little about machine learning, what it can do, or they were not even interested into what it was coming to, right? So when you went into this and you did your PhD, what was your plan?
So the seed of, what I wanted to do in my PhD was planted in my final year in BTech.
Okay.
I did a project at IIT Kanpur on how to fit a bunch of polynomials together in a limited space. It's a very important problem in the world of sheet metal cutting. And the solution was not anywhere close to computer science. There was nothing computer science about that solution. And the solution came from something called genetic algorithms. And that is my first thing that I learned in the field of AI. I said, oh, this is a very different way of thinking about what I have learned in computer science is very different. This is a very different way of thinking. And I just fell in love with that. Nature-inspired computation and all that. I did my BTech project after I came back in that area, right? And then I decided that this is what I want to do. And I went to US and, found my supervisors and all that. And there somebody told me in the first class, I remember the person told me, why is AI important? And he said, this is a field where the brain has started to think about the brain. So far the brain was thinking about the bird and the fish and the solar system. But this is the first time the brain is thinking about how the brain works. That just got completely hooked onto me. I realized this is going to change the world in the future. And back in the day, the books were not even fully written. We studied from manuscripts and all that. And there were no jobs and all that. And, we thought we'll become faculty, we'll do some PhD and become a faculty. But, it is such a practical field that it is very applied. It's not a theoretical field like physics and all that.
Correct. And
I could see immediately after I graduated, there were a lot of initial applications of AI we started to work on. And then slowly, it picked up. So I've seen the journey of AI from the early days till where it is today. And it is very fascinating to see how we have made, the different winters of AI have come and gone. And different bubbles have come and gone. And we can talk about the bubble that we are in now. But it's all great. So it's a beautiful field, and it was the natural evolution from computer science.
Right.
And I completely enjoyed it. Very few people got to do what they studied 20 years ago and are still in that field. So I'm just lucky and that intuition worked out.
Great. So, and sir, then you came back to India after that. So, and I think till today, everybody is trying to do the opposite. So what happened there? Why did you come back?
So that's a very, emotional story also. So what happened was, one day I was, I filed a lot of patents. I got a lot of awards in the US for my first job. And I called my mom and said, Mom, I did this, I did that. And she was very happy. And she said one thing. She said, when are you going to do something for India? And that's it. I said, okay, now I need to go back and come back. So then I started to decide that, okay, how to get back and all. So obviously in India, AI was not big at that time. So I first got a job in Yahoo and then Google and all that. And finally, I did a EdTech startup.
I think when you started, Google already started the AI, or was it still search engine?
No, it was a software part of Google working here. But, when I got hired, I started working on the AI part of Google, right? We worked with Ray Kurzweil, the Deep Mind and,
DeepMind
AI
started back.
Yeah, it got bought around the same time, but I got to work with Ray Kurzweil, and there is a Google Brain team where we built the initial versions of what we see Gemini today. So the very early versions of that I got to work on, apart from many other things, right? Applying AI to YouTube, spam, and many others and all that. But yeah, then I said, okay, enough of Google, enough of Yahoo. Why don't I work for India in some ways? So then I did my tech startup, joined Ola. I wanted to see how Ola can be AI-fied, if you will. And then now with Reliance Group, I'm getting a very good opportunity to look at all applications of AI across the group.
Got it, yes. And Mohit sir actually did the same thing because I know his story. Just a decade later, after you came back, he came back with the same.
And it's interesting what the pattern that I saw was from US multinational companies to Indian companies. So as you said, AI pattern and AI-fying the Indian businesses. So that is something that is really, really exciting and thrilling, that there is a very strong opportunity in your story in terms of just doing something for India is just amazing, which resonates with me very well as well. While I have not yet been able to sort of say, okay, I'm doing something as fundamental in India yet, but hopefully we'll follow.
If there is an intention, it'll be fulfilled.
Correct.
Yeah.
And sir, getting into the Reliance aspect, so do you have a top of the mind list of use cases where you believe you have made most impact, and where you believe there is satisfaction when you look at it that, oh, this is done, these many people are getting benefited from this?
Yeah, so when I joined Reliance, Mr. Ambani has a very unique way of, nurturing leaders, right? And the first thing he did with me, he said, Shailesh, can you come up with your own vision statement of what you want to do, or I will tell you my vision statement.
Okay.
So I said, okay. And I started working on the two themes, which is how to AI-fy Reliance Industries and how to AI-fy India, right?
So your vision.
And so I presented that. He loved it. Obviously he thinks big and all of that. And we started working on it. Few months later, India's AI strategy paper came, which talked about, what can we do in AI and all that. And it was pretty much like what I said in my paper to Mr. Ambani. And he called me and said, Shailesh, you were talking about the same thing. So I was very happy that, the vision of India for AI is very unique and different than any other country. If you look at
why do you think?
It is because India by nature, we are about creating social impact in society.
Right.
Our primary areas are, healthcare, education, agriculture. Because if the last mile is not able to benefit from AI, all this LLM agentic is useless, right? If a farmer is still committing suicide, if the crop, is not growing well, if the air quality is going down, if the students are not getting jobs, there is no point having technology for the sake of technology if you're not having an impact. So this is something that I keep learning from Mr. Ambani, that we should always be customer backward, not technology forward. And Indian ethos is like that, right? Whatever we have done, if you look at the history, we have made sure it has been democratized to the masses. So I always say, obviously, AI will benefit India a lot, but I think India will benefit AI a lot more.
Interesting.
In many, many ways, right? We have the largest number of use cases, the most diverse data, whether it is languages or genetics, the kind of impact we can have on the 1.5 billion people, and then the global south, right? We represent the global south, is very different than what the Western world has. Their use cases are very different. Our use cases are very different. So while technologies are a great unifier between the two worlds, the use cases are very different.
Can you, let's take agriculture, sir, for example.
Yes.
Agriculture in US versus agriculture in India.
Yes.
The approach of the farmers and approach of the AI, how do you think it is different?
So I'll tell you multiple such use cases, right? So in the US, for example, the farms are very large.
Yeah.
You can actually have a crop duster to actually do the whole thing.
Correct.
But in India, our farms are very small. You cannot just have a plane and deliver. So we need drones to do that because they are more compatible, right? Second, our farmers need a lot of help in terms of what to grow, how to do the next thing. Every day they need a practice.
Yeah.
So they need advisory, and Krishi Darshan programs are like broadcast.
Right.
So one of the moonshots in agriculture we are working on with Reliance Foundation is how to create a personalized daily advisory for every farmer in their language based on the satellite data, soil IoT data, weather data, and if they have a question, how to answer in their language and all of that, right? Now that's a moonshot example, and there are many such moonshots, right? And the reason why we are very excited about this is that today we can only, with humans in the back end to answer questions of farmers, we can only handle, let's say, 1,000 queries per day, but we get 1 lakh queries per day. And one of the things I've learned is, pick a domain, find the most critical problem in that domain first, and try to solve that. This is what I call the engine problem. So this is the engine problem in agriculture. What is the engine problem in healthcare? It is that most of India does not have access to good doctors, unlike the West and all. So for India, building an AI doctor which works across languages is a very important use case, which is not for the West. And see, so we can borrow technology from the West, but the use cases have to be ours. And that is something that I learned when I transition and look at the world.
Do you believe that AI doctor would, as in instead of enhancing an MBBS or a PhD doctor or PG doctor, would it actually, more of a suggestive role or rather a...
Yes, so I'll tell you, right? So we live in Hyderabad. We have access to multiple doctors. We can go to second opinion, third opinion. But if you go outside the outer ring road of Hyderabad and beyond, we don't have enough doctors. Right? Now, where would these people go? So now imagine if you can create an AI doctor which works in WhatsApp, all languages, speech, and all of that. And these people can ask a question, have a conversation, I have fever. Then the AI doctor can ask and diagnose, which we call preclinical diagnosis. So it's not about replacing an MBBS doctor. It is about scaling a good human doctor across the country. Right? Scale is what democratization and scale is what technology is supposed to bring. Right?
Correct.
Now, obviously, there are regulatory issues. It has to work. It has to be better than something. All that we are working out. It has to be compliant with the laws of the land and all that. But picking moonshots after moonshots, the core problems in each domain, security, for example. Look at the cameras are everywhere, but still crime is on the high. Why? Because we have not connected the camera to face detection, action detection, notification, and all that. So the new mindset that we have to develop is AI by itself will not solve your problems. AI as part of an operating system for a domain will solve the problem.
And slightly going on to that technical side of it. So the impact of false positives and false negatives in each of this domain is very different.
Correct.
Like if I do a false positive in case of security camera, maximum what I'm doing is a extra scrutiny or check. But same in agriculture or farming, agriculture or healthcare would impact people.
Correct. Therefore, what we need is what we call augmented intelligence. So AI will generate an advisory for a farmer, but a human expert, the same 800 people can look at that advisory and confirm, right? So now they are not spending 10 minutes, 20 minutes talking to a farmer. They are looking at the conversation, what AI has produced and approving, disapproving. Same thing a doctor will do. AI doctor will never replace a real doctor. AI doctor will have a 10-minute conversation with the patient in their language, transcribe the conversation, create an output which says this is what I think the thing is, this is the course of action, and send that information to a real doctor who is supposed to look at that and say yes or no, or modify. That becomes label data for AI to improve, and it brings human touch in the loop at the right level. And as we move into the AI era, the role of humans will transition. We will not be the creators of things. We will be the curators of things AI is producing. So, for example, like I said, doctor, right? AI doctor will do the diagnosis. Human doctor will curate that diagnosis. AI agriculture expert will give the advice. Human AI expert will do that. AI will write the report of a radiologist. Human radiologist will look at it. AI will generate code. Human software engineer has to look at it. So this transition is a very interesting transition. Whoever accepts this transition and creates the right level of human safeguard on top of it will use AI as a companion of humans symbiotically, as opposed to either this or that. So, and all this talk of firing engineers, then rehiring them, this knee-jerk reaction that big leaders are doing, it doesn't go well with anybody. So I think we should step back on that and revisit the whole narrative.
So one of the dimensions that I wanted to ask is technology solutions. So scale is a major challenge when you address any of these problems. Along with that, there's another dimension of the cost aspect of the cost of the solution. And oftentimes you have to modify a solution based on what is feasible from a cost perspective. So how have you seen that evolve, particularly in India at the scale that we're talking about? Like, for example, if it costs $100 for this AI doctor to do a diagnosis, then this initiative itself might not fly. So how have you seen the cost?
So the larger discussion is agentic or not to agentic. That's the question Shakespeare would ask. Now, I have a theory about that, personal opinion. So whenever a task can be done with traditional workflows, don't use agentic. Two qualities are required. One is if the workflow is known and well defined, like how to book a ticket or how to do diagnosis is also a well defined workflow, by the way. Then we don't need agentic. So what we have built is pre-agentic without any LLM in it.
And it works.
And it works much better than, even an MBBS fresh graduate. It works better than that. So we have achieved that. Now, the second reason we don't want to use agentic is if you want deterministic output.
The boundary.
So I have talked to doctors who have started using LLMs to do diagnosis, and they say, Shailesh, I give the same prompt again or to a different LLM, they give me different diagnosis. How can I trust this? So determinism is very important.
Correct.
Knowing the workflow, therefore not needing to discover the workflow every time is the cost. The real cost in agentic is these two, right? So you are saying, oh, let me try this, let me try this, let me try this. Oh, I found the workflow, it will work. If you already know the workflow, why do you have to discover it every time?
Sure, perfect.
Right?
This sounds like music to our ears because this is how we've been approaching the
this,
problem as well.
So that wisdom is very important. Somehow the FOMO has been created in such a way that if you're not doing LLM or agents, you're not an AI company.
And we have
that is absolutely not true. And only, I think, 5% of use cases in the world will be agentic and LLM. Especially things like, creativity or deep research or root cause analysis and all of that. But 99% of workflows are deterministic and well defined. Therefore, do we need agentic? All CIOs, CXOs should think about it. Then the cost will only be 1%, not this 100%. So somehow we have to, balance it out.
And also people have to understand what an agent is. Like everybody calls it an agent, but what you are doing with that.
Correct.
It's really just an LLM course.
So yes, coming to the next aspect, sir. So slightly related to what we have been discussing. So Silicon Valley and Bangalore, Hyderabad, startups have been evolving. But seeing at Jio and Reliance, the scale and the diversity of all the things that you look at, what do you believe, if there is such a thing that startups across Silicon Valley, Bangalore, Hyderabad are missing, which is clearly visible to you at that level?
Yes. And this is something I learned from Mr. Ambani that, so let me take an example, right? Look at where electricity is today. It is a very mature technology. Now, if we had only built the bottom-up use cases of electricity, the bulb here, the switch here, the wire here, we will not have electricity. The top-down is very, very important. The secret sauce is that we have the grid, which connects the production, distribution, consumption of energy. The grid is there. It is standardized. What voltage, right? What size of bulb. So it is safe to use, insulation and circuit breaker. Now think about these terms in the AIification world. We need the grid. right? What does that mean? The cloud, the data centers and all of that, the connectivity, the grid is there, right? But we are still building individual use cases. One startup is building something, one startup is building something.
Correct.
My problem is, unless we start thinking what I call operating systems and workflows and the role of AI in them, so the unit of work is not AI. The unit of work is workflow.
Correct. Yes.
Whether it is known or it is discovered, that is the unit of work. And if we don't think about the grid first and only think about the bulb, we will never build the grid.
We'll never do it.
So what we need now in the country is to build what I call domain operating systems. What is the agriculture operating system which connects satellite data, soil IoT data, knowledge of agriculture, call center AI all together, and drones and fertilizer delivery as a single whole. Till we fund 1,000 startups, each doing its own thing, without standardization and integration, the effect will not come. We want the sum to be greater than the parts and all that, right?
Yeah.
It's not happening. We are funding startups. Today, a farmer needs 20 apps to get his job done. Shouldn't it be that he takes a picture of his crop and fertilizer automatically is delivered to or whatever pesticide is delivered? Shouldn't that be? Now, if we have a drone company separate, advisory company separate, pesticide company separate, we are never going to get there. So the grid mindset is the new way of thinking.
And how do you believe people will get there? Because the ecosystem itself.
Rewards point solutions.
Yeah.
You built a great something, LLM for something, text to speech in something. So we can build them, we need them. Bottom up, we need them, right? But to put together a room, we need all these things to come
work together. Correct.
So we need a next layer of AI, which is an integration layer. And we call it the system of integration, which is critical. Otherwise, all this beautiful innovation that we are doing bottom up will never reach the masses, because the farmer doesn't need one solution by one startup. He needs a combination as a whole to solve his problem.
Got it. And one aspect that I'm very curious about, so in my previous avatar, I used to call data as the new electricity that needs to be present everywhere and needs to power. Is it just the data? And I feel like this grid needs more than that. Much more. So what all will it take?
So data, okay. So that's another thing, which is, does AI start with data or does it start with domain knowledge? Right? So if I have to build a churn prediction model or a marketing campaign model or a telecom call drop model, who should I go to first as a data scientist? I don't know anything about telecom. I don't know anything about marketing.
Correct.
So I'll first go to domain knowledge. He will tell me the causal behavior, why call drops happen. Then I go to data, then I bring that. So one of the skills I learned, first thing I learned after my job, right? I finished my PhD. I thought I knew everything. I joined my first company, FICO, and they said, we are building a credit model or a fraud model. And I said, what does that even mean? I know what is clustering and classification, and you are asking me to do something I don't understand your language. So I had to learn what credit model means before I can combine my AI thinking, data thinking, and domain thinking together to bring a solution. So somehow we are not teaching it in the holistic way. We are saying learn how to do scatter plots and PCAs and all of that, but we are not teaching the most important skill, which is the art of formulating a business problem into an AI architecture. And unless that skill comes, we are not going to.
So do you think it is also one step before that? Like when people think about it, they want to apply AI. But the question that is forgotten, which used to exist before, is, okay, I need to solve this problem. What is the best way to solve this problem? If AI is needed, then probably it could come in. But it doesn't have to be
all the time, everywhere, same type of AI.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
And that is the beauty of, it's a very creative job. Being a data scientist is a very creative job. It's not just about knowing a bunch of tools. It's understanding the pain point of the domain. So for example, in telecom, right? One of the very interesting problems, Moonshots, is that the network is static. The towers don't move around, but the antennas can be controlled.
Correct.
Now, with that degree of freedom, and the city is not static. People are at home in the morning on commute, then here. The city is dynamic, and the network can be made dynamic. It's a very beautiful joint optimization problem. Can you do demand forecasting of how much data is needed in every grid, and how will you tilt the right angles to fill that demand? Now that is the scale at which we are able to think at Geo,
correct?
Right?
Yeah.
And it will not come if I'm not interested in the problem or not learning the problem. So in every time I switched a domain, right? I went from finance domain to search engine domain to Ola Uber domain to now 20 domains in Reliance. And the beauty of being a data scientist is that you get to relearn from scratch a new domain. You worked at Flipkart, right? And all that. We have to learn how the domain works and then apply what we have learned. And that education system has to evolve like that, right?
Right.
And it's a very creative field, and I really enjoyed the last 20 years. Yeah.
It's interesting. So one of the things that I was taught by my mentor, even during PhD, was to sit with the data, sit with the problem statement, and sit with the data, look at the data, understand the problem statement from before even trying to model anything. Just understanding the problem statement. At Flipkart, we used to have this plan, even otherwise, go sit with the customer service agent, spend a day with them, understand what kind of pain points, kind of calls that are coming in, to get a first-hand feel for all the issues that the customers are facing. So it's interesting that articulation in terms of just understanding the domain, and the beauty of it that you are learning a new problem.
It's beautiful.
A new domain every time.
Right. So I think, sir, why don't you actually try this?
Yeah. It's very nice. Thank you.
So sir, we have been discussing about the Silicon Valley applications and these aspects, how it applies to startup. Switching gears slightly into the enterprise part of it. So now, if startups are building these solutions and they have to deploy an enterprise, let it be any sector, banking, finance, e-commerce, pharma, how should first the businesses think about adopting these AI solutions, and how should startups think about pitching to these businesses so that it actually solves the problem instead of solving the hype cycle, if you can call it.
See, first of all, like you said, right, if we don't read between the lines of what the user is actually saying, right, we'll not get to the depth of the problem, the nuances of what we need to solve. So that is a very important thing. So let me tell my Buddha story, right? So why is Buddha regarded as, in my mind, a great innovator? Is because he went to the core of the problem. He said, human suffering, what is the root cause for that? And how to solve that, not for those three people, but for all mankind. That mindset is what makes you an entrepreneur. Can you go to the root cause of the problem or find the right problem to solve instead of what they are actually saying, and then come up with a solution which is not superficial in nature?
So slightly going into the Nuantic aspect. So there are two sides to the story here, right?
Yes.
One is a company who is trying to solve a need.
Correct.
Other is a company who has that need, but they are looking for the solution.
Correct.
Now, the person who is looking for the solution, how should he think about finding one? Because once he starts looking at it, and this is what we hear from the finance customers, in a quarter we get pitched by 100 startups. That we have lost the interest to even figure out what is what. Because everybody says that we can do everything. So through all of this traffic, increasing Nuantic signals, how does a business owner actually steer towards or look for the right solution to his problem?
So, see, there are obvious metrics everybody has, right? Cost, accuracy, speed to market, all of that stuff, right? But really, if I to me, the most important problem now is interoperability. What I mean by that is, I built, as a consumer of multiple startup solutions, you built one solution, I bought that. You built another solution, I bought that. Now I have 5 vendor solutions. They don't talk to each other. That becomes a burden on the CI. I call it a digital slum. So now, from an enterprise point of view, as we acquire solutions after solutions from multiple startups, there is no way to integrate them, right? So as a retail company, imagine if Flipkart or some retailer had done the following, right? Got one startup to build their search engine, another startup to build their recommendation, another startup to do their, like whatever, right? Delivery management or warehouse management, inventory management. And now imagine if they added 5 products to their catalog, they would have to update all the systems.
Correct. Yes.
So what is not happening in the startup guy's mind is that my point solution has to work with the 5 other point solutions.
So integration first again.
So if we don't talk to each other and say, what are you building? What are you building? Your output is my input. If you're not thinking at that level, each one is trying to compete. No, my solution will change the world. My solution will change the world. It is not going to happen.
No.
So I use Boeing as a great example. So what does Boeing do? And think of enterprise versus startup in a Boeing example.
Okay.
Boeing says, I want to build an aircraft. It designs the aircraft all the way to the last nut and bolt. It does not manufacture any of those components.
Right.
It gives it to hundreds of companies who are good at what they do. But it gives the specification exactly to them. Then they build and give it back to the Boeing. Boeing does the
Integration, correct.
That is how domains will work in the future. So imagine an agriculture ministry or somebody is the Boeing of agriculture. He has entire domain knowledge of agriculture, and he says, I have talked to all the farmers, to the mandi guys, to the agriculture guys, to the whatever, right, laborers. I have come up with all the 200 use cases in agriculture. Let me now design every part of it. What are the functions and interfaces and all that? Design, not implement.
Yeah.
Boeing does design.
Correct.
Then I open up, through ANRF or many other systems, Niti Aayog, and say, look, these are the 200 models India needs. This is exactly the API of this model. This is the API of this model. Don't build your own. Models, you build your own, but interfaces are mine, standardized. Imagine if everybody built a bulb with a different interface. You understand?
Yeah,
where we want to standardize so that when they all produce their solutions, we have a coherent big picture will emerge.
So the
that is not
framing the problem should actually be doing the work of identifying what
somebody has to design top down first.
Okay, yeah.
That is missing.
Yeah.
If that was there, each startup would know where they fit in to the big picture, right? I manufacture doors for aircraft. Somebody is giving me exact specification of aircraft. I'll manufacture that. I don't have to worry about selling, not selling. It will work.
Correct.
Another moonshot I want to build for India is what I call the AI marketplace. This is where startups will really shine, right? So think about it this way. If I want to solve the commute problem of the country, if I'm a regular thinker, I will buy a car and drive a car and say, I'm doing my part. But if I'm a meta thinker like Buddha, I will build a company called Ola Uber.
Okay.
Same effort. But I'm now solving a larger problem of connecting producers and consumers.
Right.
What is the equivalent of this analogy in the AI world? I am a data scientist. I am expert in certain models. I will build those models. It's like buying my car and driving them.
Yeah.
What is the real contribution is, if I create an AI marketplace and I say anybody can produce models, anybody can consume models, that marketplace is 1,000 times more valuable to the country because now the guy who built the best text-to-speech model in Telugu doesn't have to find customers. He just had to put his model into the market.
Figuratively model, right? Like you mean the actual use case itself.
Yeah, the model, like input, output, inference. And
as in, so Hugging Face.
Yeah, is a older version of this idea.
Got it.
Yeah. But if we had that, and Hugging Face still requires you to find the best model and try to, it's still technically not easy to just integrate, right?
Yes, yeah.
And all that. There's no metering, there's no real-time competition and all that. So now imagine if we build an AI marketplace. Now that is a startup I want to see. I don't want to see yet another startup doing satellite to crop prediction.
And how would you sort of think about standardizing? What does standardization mean in this context?
Yes. So interfaces, right? What goes in, what comes out. Now, if you look at the secret behind electricity, internet, telecom, there's only one secret: standardization.
Is it parallel to ONDC?
Yeah, no. That is a different thing. What I'm saying, let's talk about standardization. So TCP/IP protocol is a protocol that everybody has to follow.
Right.
Similarly, 4G, 5G is a protocol that everybody has to follow. Anybody can build a 4G network, but the protocol is designed first. Who designed it? The whole community sat together and designed it. We need that mindset in India, which is to say, hey, agriculture ministry, education ministry, this ministry, or whatever, right? The top guys should design the Boeings in their domains first, then give out startup money.
Okay.
Otherwise, everybody is building what they think is needed.
Correct.
So this is the top-down, bottom-up balancing act that is missing. There is no top-down.
There's no.
Therefore, we are building slums. So startups are competing with startups. Your APIs are different. There is no way to compare.
Yeah.
So we need comparison, right?
Everybody wants to build the exclusivity instead of the.
But you're using the same tools, the same training data, the same compute. How will you get exclusivity? Right? So I think we need to rethink as a collective. And the role of top-down is very, very important, and it is missing. Right? There is nobody holding the top-down thing and saying, today it is like, oh, I have funding for 1,000 startups. I'll fund 1,000 startups. You pitch, some guy will like, I will give the money. He's doing his thing, and now he's struggling.
Right. Yeah.
Because there was no big picture.
And are these the MCP protocols or the ONNX? That didn't take off either. MCP is sort of slightly more
costly. Obviously, you cannot solve an old problem created because you didn't think about standardization, and now you patch it up with MCP. That is not how. And then the token cost of MCP itself is too high to be useful. What I'm saying is dismantle everything. You cannot go to a slum and start tinkering with every little house and improving it. That will never become a smart city. You have to replace the slum with a smart city.
Interesting.
Without that, we can go on, it's like you improve this, you improve that, and all that. So we need a top-down approach to AIification of India. Without that, we can fund 1,000 startups. I don't believe anything will.
Who do you think should drive this?
This should be driven at the top, right? So we have Niti Aayog, we have, all these agencies that we are creating, India body or whatever, right? At the state level, at the center level, we should have top-down committees of experts who are driving the platformization of AI, not innovation of AI. We have not even applied all the benefit that AI brings to the current problems. We are saying, no, we need to advance. No, we don't need to advance. First, we apply and platformize what we already have. Right? We are not even able to do that. What are we going to do with 4AI if we don't have a placeholder for it? So that is the first problem to solve. Integration first and then improvement. Very interesting example, amoeba. Amoeba was the first integrated life form.
How so?
Amoeba,
a single cell
life form. It was a complete life form. Before that, things were proteins and other things.
Yes.
When amoeba came as an integrated life form, after that, evolution of life started. You have to launch the amoeba first. That means you have to integrate first. You cannot say, no, mitochondria has to become perfect over 1,000 years, billion years.
Right.
Cell membrane has to become perfect over... No.
Right.
You have to launch the integrated operating system in a domain, even if your models are not perfect.
Interesting.
Because you have launched and people have started using and there are humans in the loop for correction, your platform will improve. Improvement will come later. Mitochondria will become lungs.
Correct.
After 1 billion years. But you have to launch the amoeba.
And that
you cannot launch the nucleus separately and the cell membrane separately. That's what we are doing with startups. We are launching individual components. But nobody is seeing the big picture.
And just like the amoeba analogy, you would have the specialization that there'll need to be a standardization of data, system integration, all
Yes,
aspects
yes.
need
Then
to be
integration
taken into
backward
account.
thinking forces you to think about all this all the time,
Interesting.
right? How many workflows are there? What is the input and output of every function, right? Agree on the blueprint first. Like we do it for building construction, right? We don't start putting bricks suddenly. You build that wall, I'll build my wall, we'll see what comes out. That is not how we will build AI for India.
Correct.
That's what we are doing with startup mindset. It has to be not controlled, but integrated somewhere.
It should be guided.
Otherwise, bottom up innovation can only take us so far, period. That's
Interesting.
This must be music to your ears. He keeps saying this.
yes.
So there have been customers who have customers and advisors who we speak with. We rehearse the pitch and everything, right? So when we do that, their first question is, "Why is there no agentic in your thing?" and he spends like 5 to 10 minutes explaining.
So the realization, because of so much FOMO in the market, I'm not sure what kind of pressures. Is it board pressure? Is it just shareholding pressure?
There is so much
that is there. That there is just so much. The agentic word should be there. Even without talking about, do you have the right data? Do you have the right problem statement defined before even data? Do you have the right problem statement defined? What metrics are you trying to chase? What exactly are you trying to solve for?
None of that. Agentic.
Isn't.
Right?
So it started becoming means to an end. Starting to become the end.
Because all of us eventually are working for NVIDIA now. Even OpenAI is working for NVIDIA.
Correct. All the articles that have started coming in terms
and the level of FOMO and top down, every week something new, some big announcement, more jobs are going to be lost. This kind of rhetoric that they create, they don't even let you pause and think, what the hell are we doing, right?
More than the announcement, sir, the thing that is really frustrating is the second order marketing, which people do, like, this prompt will kill everything.
Mother of all prompts, sir.
And it's interesting, a slight anecdote. We were together testing something, and instead of doing a git pull, we were like giving a command to AI to get git pull. Same number of letters that you would have to type.
But the token cost went up.
But just tell the AI to do this.
So here, this brings up to another very important discussion mankind should have, right? See, every time I call it the law of, we know the law of conservation of matter, law of conservation of energy. Now I am introducing a new law. It's called the law of conservation of intelligence. What it means is the more we outsource our intelligence to them as in AI, the less we become intelligent.
Correct. Yes.
And I posted somewhere that this is the last generation of programmers, musicians, artists, writers. This is the last generation. Can you imagine the impact AI is having on us? Because we have forgotten how to write, how to think, how to code, right? And one day, AI will write something, we won't even know how to judge the output.
Correct.
We will start believing it. And when you start believing something without critically analyzing, you become a cult.
Correct.
And we are becoming a cult of AI now. That is the danger. There are people who swear by it and say, no, AI said I should kill my parents to become happy. And that guy does it. And that is the danger. We have stopped thinking for ourselves, right? And we need to reverse that somehow.
And so actually, this is a very interesting thing. And I want to talk about this at length. One last question before we get there. So obviously you have greenlit a lot of initiatives at Jio and Reliance. So when let's say there is a new model that has been developed, iterated on, a new use case that has been worked upon, when you are greenlighting it to go live, what are the critical things that you always take care of before it has your sign off?
So the first thing, the most important thing is the privacy issue, right? I mean, we are very, very particular about it. Way before the privacy law came, we are very conscious that none of the PIIs are going out. Models are not built with any of those biased fields. So that whole bias and privacy, the ethical aspect of the model is far more important than the accuracy and this thing, because accuracies will improve. But if we have injected an unethical thing in the system, that will come back to haunt us later. So that is the most critical. And then obviously scale and other things are easy. And we also make a decision about when not to use a human in the loop. So if the model doesn't just give me a score, it also gives me a confidence value. And based on the confidence value, I route the output to an automatic. So it's not just about modeling. It's about thinking about the whole thing.
So which are the things that people need not look at? Which are the things that people will have to look at?
People have to look at, the ethical concept is the most important now. As, AI takes over and we say, you build a model and deploy the model, it may do unethical things. Who knows? If the goal is accuracy, it can go all the way, right? So humans have to nurture this and correct for that is a must-have. You cannot allow any model to go like that. And not to look at...
as in accuracy, I've talked about that. It's not that.
It is important, but it is just a number. If you reach that, you are done. And if it is low enough for a particular data point, you route it to a human. Otherwise, you automate. So it's an automate versus human decision. And therefore, we can put a threshold.
And systems would not be perfect on day one.
No, never. It will never be perfect, right? Because world is changing, data is changing, all that is changing. And we'll continuously need to improve the model.
And consumer perception and business perception around such initiatives, which obviously a new technology will come with bugs. Like Gemini, when it came out, people said, oh, what model is this? And I hope I'm not overstepping. But then they released 2, 3. Enterprise world, a lot of people are using it and calling it game-changing thing, sustainable, economic, right? So... but people were not open to Gemini 1 before. So they were against it, they were not using it. So this perception of consumers that we are not open to a technology that initially would not work but has a great promise. Correct. It has been there since a long time. How do you think, or do you think we can even change it?
Fundamentally, people don't understand that AI is not IT. AI is not IT. AI will never be deployed. It will be continuously improved.
Correct.
And we have to give that chance. It's like a baby is never born with a PhD degree. It will have the ability to do PhD, but it's not born with it. AI is like that, right? So if people understand that it's a work in progress at all times, even Google search is still improving, right? Blinkit delivery system is still improving. YouTube recommendation is always improving. So it's a movie that is getting played all the time and it's getting better and better.
Right.
Cost will come lower and lower. All this will continue to happen. We cannot judge a movie by looking at one scene and saying, oh, wo scene kharab tha, to puri movie kharab. Right? We have to see the movie and we have to develop that, like we raise a child and allow mistakes and let it grow, provide the right guidance, value system. The same thing we have to do with AI. Once we understand that, then, so for example, when we went to, let's say I go to farmers and say, we have built an advisory system. What is your role as a farmer, as a senior farmer, is to look at the output and, tell us if it is right or wrong, right? Now, he may look at it and saying, oh, what will I do now? Insecurity is one of the bigger reasons in lack of adoption of AI. Right? I built my edtech startup, went to a school principal, she said, show it to the math teacher. The math teacher saw it and said, oh, what will I do now if AI will teach math? So I'm telling you, this is a real problem. There are two problems we discuss. One is the people's insecurity with AI. What will I do? And I'm telling you, your job is secure because your job has moved up. You are now a curator of AI output. You don't have to do it. So that becomes better narrative than saying your job will be killed, your job will be killed.
Correct.
Truth is, we will need great programmers forever. We'll need great doctors forever because AI will only give us something which we have to narrate. right? So insecurity has to be removed. Otherwise, AI will not happen.
And also, do you believe, like, obviously that, so there are people who are not, there is top 1 percentile, top 10 percentile, then there is people who are not very expert in their field, but still have a job right now, they are working. So obviously they would have this concern that, okay, AI is able to do this thing better than me, and number of people needed to do a particular task has gone down, so my thing could be at risk. Now,
So
how
here's
should
how
they
I see
treat
that.
themselves to upscale?
Correct. No, I see it like this, right? So there is work to be done. There is technology capability, and there is people and talent. What is happening is, as work to be done is same, technology is moving, they are removing people, which is the wrong approach.
Right.
What they should do, we should train people, increase work. Instead of saying 5 people or 100 people were doing this much, now I need only 5. What will the 95 people do? Come up with more work, build next generation products, grow the company differently. That is not, the leaders are supposed to create more work and more innovation. That's why I think, the narrative has to be that now that we have such powerful tools like Claude and all that, we can do far more things which we are not able to do before. What are those? That should be the narrative.
Right.
We are not going there. We are saying we'll remove workforce. And recently Microsoft said, my token cost is more than a human cost. Again, we are back to normal.
Yeah.
So this is a very confusing time. Nobody knows what to prioritize and all that. But fundamentally, never technology should become a reason for humans to exist. Humans should always get a higher priority. China passed a law that says you cannot remove somebody just because technology is replacing. That's a very human thing to do. And I would think that India would do this.
Right.
And the West, you see how they are looking at the same story.
Interesting.
So there is this whole anti-human thing that is going on in these people. Your jobs will be gone. Your jobs will be gone. Why are you doing this? It is wrong. You have not even baked the technology enough. You are going to need those humans.
And how do we correct this? Does it need top-down correction as well?
Huh?
Does this need top-down correction as well?
I'm sure they are looking at it and saying, oh, we fired so many people. Our product quality has gone down. We are hiring. I have learnt my lesson. I'm sure they are learning their lessons.
Very
But they
costly.
were jumping the gun too much, too early. Marketing and this thing should never supersede, humanity has to move forward together as a whole. You cannot say few will have more money and others, then we'll create other kind of problems in the world. So I think this holistic approach, right, how to balance technology and humanity is another angle that leadership should think about.
You think it will happen? It's like as important problem as it is to solve, it is such a convoluted problem with people coming from so many different angles that...
Yeah. No, the bigger jobs in AI will be now in the policy world. Because if Claude can do what it does, somebody has to monitor it. Somebody has to build policies. Somebody has to automate those policies and bake them into the Claude and say, no, you cannot do it this way. You have to do it ethically, right? So that is a new kind of jobs that are getting created. So let's not worry about it. I think our jobs will shift left and we will create more things. But as long as we are learning new things, thinking bigger. So now I'm saying 10 years ago when I proposed to Mr. Ambani, we could do this, we could do this. It would have taken us years and decades to build what I was thinking. But now it may take 6 months to build what I was thinking.
Right.
So that is... So why should we not build those things now? And that's what we started doing. So we don't fire people in Reliance. We repurpose them to say, you can do bigger things now. Can we do more? Can we do more? So we change the goalpost instead of removing the people.
Right.
And I think that is the humane approach to deal with this crisis.
So dream bigger rather than...
Dream bigger rather than remove people. Cost cutting should never be a priority. Right? It should always be... grow the company, but to build more and do more things.
Yes. So now let's get into the aspect I think this is probably one of the most passionate things that, like from what I read, I've seen you do education and teaching.
Yes.
So basically, students before ChatGPT, let's take the 2021 as the initial cutoff. How they learn, how they used to apply the learning, what they can do, and what they could not do. From your first experience, how has it changed? How are they doing?
Yeah. No, there are two corrections that are fundamentally needed, right? You talked about before ChatGPT. So the word BC, right? Before Christ, before COVID. Before COVID is another
Before
era.
COVID also.
And before ChatGPT is the new era, right? So we are going through these eras, right? Now, before we go to the ChatGPT and its effect on children, let's talk about what is wrong with the current education system we have created in the last 70 years, right? That itself needs a fundamental correction. So what have we done? We have created an army of professional test takers. If you think about what is the real outcome of our engineering colleges and all is what? 12th grader is produced as a product who can give a NEET exam or a IIT exam or this exam or that exam.
Whatever you want to do engineering first.
No. Whatever you do, there is an exam coming.
There's an exam.
And therefore, you must go to a coaching center, go to quota factory, become a exam giver.
Right.
Ye trick lagao and all that. So we have mass produced exam takers. We have not mass produced innovators and original thinkers. This is the first mistake. Therefore, the real metrics of a good education system of a country are how many Nobel Prize winners you have. India has 12. 12. In 100 years. With 1 billion average population, India has produced only 12 Nobel Prize. Israel has produced 14. India's top ranking university in world QS ranking is 123. India's IIT Delhi this year. Singapore has produced 2 universities in top 15. You see the problem? There is a fundamental problem in our education system. How many unicorns we have produced? 4. US has 1,000 plus, right? So if the metrics are how much is your rank, how much GPA, how much job salary if you're getting, if that is the metric, this is the India you get. And the guys who are out of that, they build great things and all of that, right? So we need to change the narrative. How will we change the narrative? So I'm coming up with a new kind of education thinking, which is change the purpose of education first. It cannot be get a grade, get a good salary. It has to be solve a good problem. Find a good problem to solve. So what should your first semester look like? It should not look like I'm learning Python, I'm learning linear algebra. Why? It should look like I'm talking to farmers, I'm talking to people on the streets and saying, what are your issues? Learn design thinking, learn how to get pain points of the country, learn a little bit of tools without the depth, right? That there is clustering, there is classification, but I don't need to know how it works. I just have a sense of that, and I have a sense of problems, and I'm able to connect the dots. That is the most important skill we want to teach.
Right.
And that's how we'll create an army of entrepreneurs and not an army of testing. We need to reverse this course. So my favorite way of education is what I call moonshot backward education system.
Okay.
You throw a bunch of moonshots and say, we want to build the national agriculture dashboard of India. I want to know every crop, every farm has to be known. When is it come? So I have a moonshot. Right, which will help me define my export policy, import policy, or whatever. I want to build a personalized education system for every child. I want to build an AI doctor in all languages. Throw moonshots in front of our people, they will know, they will latch onto it and say, yes, this is what I want to solve. Therefore, I want to learn Python and linear algebra.
Right.
If you put cart before the horse, we are getting a very bad education.
What states are like at the pre-grad level or?
See, in every stage, I should be able to do the why first, and then the what, and then the how.
Right.
Today we say, hello, bacho, this is Pythagoras theorem. Why? Every 10th grader is saying, why am I learning this crap, right? Quadratic equation. You take them to the, missiles, how the missiles are flowing, how the cricket ball is going, how the basketball is thrown. Then you teach them quadratic.
Exposure and inspiration.
वो है ही नहीं. See, therefore, the style of teaching has to change to create curiosity and all that. We create fear and antipathy for the subject. Why? Exam is coming. Exam is coming. If you teach for exam, the guy will just learn for exam and move on. No,
Right.
Not remember anything because exam was the goal. Learning was never the goal.
Never the goal, correct.
In Indian education system, exam is the goal. Learning is not the goal. Period. Therefore, the numbers that I just talked about. So that is the first answer, which is how do we change the education system? Effect of ChatGPT on it, right? Now, like I said, law of conservation of intelligence.
But on just that topic, as a parent, what I'm curious about is oftentimes, and this is somehow, and I don't have observations to prove otherwise, but I feel like, for example, every kid hates some of the subjects. Like somebody might hate geography, somebody might hate history. These are classic subjects to sort of not like, and incorporating that curiosity in them. Okay, why is history? It's not about rectifying what happened with the dates, but to know the background of different countries.
But don't you think that also depends on the teacher, like history, when you said?
Exactly.
I like
so
history.
I believe now that we don't like or hate the subject. We like or hate the
teachers. Perfect. Sure.
That is the fundamental truth of education. The purpose of a teacher is not to transmit knowledge. The purpose of the teacher is to transmit her interest and passion in the subject. Knowledge they will get from anywhere. But if she cannot be passionate about her subject and transmit why she's, and she loves history, right? Obviously, she does not love history for those reasons. ये date है, इसने इसको मारा and all that. She loves history for some other reason. And the education system should give her that freedom to talk about her passion for the subject. I have known great teachers and bad teachers. And why math teaching is so bad in India? Because math by itself is one of the most beautiful subjects. Why most people hate math? Because the teachers are coming in the way. Einstein said that, between my learning, my education system is coming in the way of my learning.
Interesting.
And that is very much true for 90% of our students. So I think India has to produce great teachers. We were a land of great teachers. Remember? Dronacharyas of the world. We need to go back to that. We cannot have, like countries like Finland and all. The highest paying job is that of a teacher.
Wow.
Especially the primary teacher is even more highly paid. Today, look at our payment structure. Shah Rukh Khan makes more money, cricketers make more money, teachers make nothing.
Correct.
How will you change the country if the teachers are not rewarded for work? So we will have to do a lot on that front, right? Then on the technology front, we know now that many countries in Europe have banned technology for a certain year.
Really?
Yes. They have banned it. It's like calculators are banned for certain age. They have banned all technology for certain age group. And we have noticed there are studies after studies which say that, for example, right, if you write by hand, your muscle memory, you learn much better. But if you only type or take notes or just record and listen, you will not have complete learning. So every time we are adding one more layer of technology, we are reducing our ability to, be one with nature. We are putting something in between. And that is causing tremendous problem. Like I said, there are studies that say that people who use ChatGPT continuously for so many hours have an irreparable damage. Irreparable. You cannot recover from it anymore.
Right.
That you'll be able to think for yourself anymore. So I have deliberately, we appreciate technologies. I tell somebody else to do ChatGPT for me. I do my own thinking, and then I never depend on it so much that I even forget that is this right or wrong anymore.
Is right or wrong. Correct.
And this outsourcing is very dangerous.
Sir, here from my personal experience, there are two different things that I have gone through. Recently, I was in a discussion with my mother, and there used to be something called abacus in our. So my mother used to take me on Sundays. So I was asking her, where am I using it right now? Why did you teach me all of those things? And she didn't have an answer. But on the ChatGPT aspect, which I come across every day in my work as well. So if you are depending on it for the creatives to give you the thought instead of you are thinking and asking it to do, then over time the approach of thought itself goes away.
Correct.
Right. So here I know the value. There I still don't know the value. So do you think there also value exists or?
Value exists as follows. See, let's take marketing as an example, right? Today, let's say old way of marketing was put a billboard, put an ad. So it's like broadcast marketing. Then we started using machine learning and clustering and all that. And now we are able to do, you like Coke, you like blue color, you like slim fit. So I'm going to give you that kind of cluster level marketing. Now we are able to do person level marketing.
Right.
As in, if I know your profile in Flipkart or Amazon or whatever, can I not create a marketing campaign just for you?
Yes.
You know, blue shirt and this kind of thing, and you for red shirt and this kind of thing. Now, because I have to mass produce content, which is highly different for each customer, this is where, you know, Gen AI will shine. Because there is no right and wrong answer. And you have to mass produce. You cannot do it in Photoshop and all of that.
No, but I mean, like from a perception of a student. So one thing that I learned, I felt that there is actually no need to learn when I did it manually, like Abacus, as I was.
Oh, you're talking about that. Yes. No, the way. So there is no learning when you are reading, right? There is no learning. So if you are reading a code coming out of ChatGPT or whatever, Claude,
right,
you're not actually learning. You're just reading somebody else's code. The way we learned coding was very different, right? We made mistakes, core dump, print statements, logs,
Correct.
all of that. The fundamental principle of learning is learning requires you to make mistakes.
Yep. Right.
Right? A child has to fall, then only they will learn how to walk. It is no other way. There is no other way. Right? Now these systems are not even letting you make a mistake. Right? How will you learn? So there is zero learning. The more you depend on the tools, you will not learn anything. And for me, this is like an addiction. It's a high. Right? When you ask even a stupid question to ChatGPT, it will say, wow, great question. This is a perfect question to ask. What does that do to you? It boosts your ego and say, oh, I'm great. I'm asking great question. Next time I'll ask again. So it draws you in. By design, it is like that, right?
To please you.
Right? And now you start to trust what it is saying. You stop applying your critical thinking, and slowly over a period of time, you say, why do I need to learn this? Why do I? This is already.
Right.
Now, suddenly one day, if ChatGPT is down or one of these things are down, people will not know what to do.
Correct. So actually, that is what I keep wondering. Like during our time when there was a take-home assignment, there used to be one very complex problem where there was no solution. There used to be 3-4 of us sitting, figuring out how to do it and solve it.
Yeah.
But now there is no such problem, right?
Every problem can be solved.
It can be solved. So how do you enforce?
So I have done I'm doing a following experiment. I'm saying, look, problems that you were giving before, you are still giving the same level of problem. Technology has evolved this much. Why are you giving this problem? Why don't you give this problem? So, moonshot backward learning. So, the outcome of a data science course should not be that, build a clustering and all that. It should be build a agriculture operating system for the country. Why don't you change the level of the program? Because technology allows you to. It's kind of like saying, if you are walking, I will measure you how many minutes you took. But if you are able to take a car, will I use the same challenge? No, the challenge will be different. Now you have to do longer distance because you have a car now. So we are doing, we are pretending like we are still in the Belgadi era while we have a Ferrari car. Why are we not changing the assignment itself?
So you're saying don't take away the Ferrari,
no,
but actually change the goalpost.
Change the narrative. So if he has to build an agriculture operating system, he has to learn about domains. He has to figure out all that. Now he can use the tool for it was really built for. Do deep research on it, right? connect with what, hallucination and all that, talk to experts, right? And then he can build amazing platforms also. So we need to increase the expectation of the student and saying, I'm not going to give you that assignment, I'm going to give you this assignment, go work on it. So I've started doing this experiment at Geo Institute and ISP now, and kids are loving it.
It's already part of the curriculum.
My curriculum is like that.
Awesome.
Now. I'm not doing that, learn a for loop over a scikit-learn API call. That is
how do you see this evolving from school as well? Like what you mentioned was sort of resonating with me. My son is in 5th grade, and he just came back that the choice project that they had was around soil sensors, like measuring moisture in soil, and then doing automated irrigation. Right now, but the problem statement is superb for a 5th grader. But the solution was they did one prompt in ChatGPT and they got the
first answer they got.
The code itself as well for the Raspberry Pi board that they were using. So I wasn't sure. I got the kick that, oh wow, he's able to think and sort of work on a problem, which is like a grounded real world problem, because we actually wanted to deploy it in our balcony. I've been thinking about it. But the answer of it was just
So my favorite example of this is, so remember Microsoft Word will tell you if the spellings are wrong, right, with the red thing. So there are two types of people in the world. One will say, okay, autocorrect and move on. One group of people will actually look at the spelling carefully, try to correct it themselves, and see if the red has gone or not. Same technology can be used in both ways. One way will make you dumber and dumber on spellings, one will make you sharper and sharper on spellings. So my approach to all this is, don't use the tools. You logically think about how would you solve this problem. They should tell, first I'll do this, then I'll do this, then I'll do this. They should then write it up and create a flow chart, whatever they need to do to express their ideas before they start using ChatGPT.
Right.
ChatGPT is my last thing.
You cannot enforce this, right? Like the best.
There is a matter of teachers telling students how to use the technology correctly. We enforce smoking. We say this is bad for health. We are still not enforcing, but at least we are telling it is bad for health, right? So can we not tell? Can we not show them these slides coming out of MIT saying what will happen to your brain if you use this, right? Can we not do studies internally and say, look, children who first write their own essays, children who solve their own assignments first, and then use ChatGPT, they should not even need to use ChatGPT. They should be able to do it by themselves, and we should reward original work more and more. They will eventually learn to use ChatGPT, but they will use it after they have mastered how to think themselves. That if we take away, then who are we? We are nothing. We are not needed on this planet. Prompt engineers are not, we don't need prompt engineers.
Right. So, sir, I think we will conclude this. I have two final questions that I wanted to ask. So, what is the most aspirational thing that you would want to make at Reliance, which is probably something that you believe will be true in the next decade?
Yeah. So one on the core, one on the state of the art of technology. I believe that, we had a von Neumann architecture of compute, right? Instruction centric. Then we had a data flow architecture. Then we have an event flow architecture. Now I'm building something called a state flow architecture. So the idea is there is a state of the system. State could mean any, full digital twin of the system, real time. And how do we now trigger the right actions from the state, prioritize the right action and change the state? So this is the new architecture of compute. This is how nature works, right? State is there sunlight? Is there water? Is there carbon dioxide? Automatically it triggers photosynthesis. Automatically it changes the composition. State keeps changing. So that is a more natural architecture. Can we build such a new architecture of compute / intelligence, which is universal in nature? What does state mean in refinery, in telecom, in healthcare? Right? Individual society, country, what is state mean and what are the actions to be done is a universal architecture that we want to build, which will change the way we think about Agentic and all that stuff. The second is I want to solve what I call the domain operating systems using this architecture. Right? It is too complex to program every workflow. But if you program a state action machine, then it is very simple to program any complex workflow. So my next moonshot is to solve personalized education for all, personalized advisory for everyone, AI doctor for everyone. These core problems, the engine problems in those domains, if we solve and build end-to-end integrated operating system.
Right.
So let's say my healthcare bot gave a diagnosis that you're about to have a heart attack or a brain attack. What should happen? Shouldn't it automatically connect to the emergency system and send an ambulance? This integration is the key.
Right.
So I want to build a universal integration framework using this state flow architecture of computing. If you can do these two, there is a state of the art and there is this applications.
And final question, let's say a 10th class student is coming to you and he wants to do what you do right now. So what would be the path that you would suggest in this generation?
I would say spend 20-30% of his time building stuff, finding a good, interesting problem to solve, learn towards that problem. So you learn how to learn for a purpose, real purpose, right? That is a skill now. Become passionate about something. Don't just become passionate about IIT exam. Become passionate about a social problem, a country problem, and say India is having so many wars. We need to have our own military. India needs oil. We need to come out of oil and build more solar plant. Why are our students not passionate about problems to be solved? If we turn around that, because that's what I used to do. I never thought about kitne number aayenge, kitna grade aayega. I used to feel very excited about an interesting problem to solve. I built a perpetual motion machine, was my dream project in 8th grade. And somebody said, you could actually do this, earth gravity and magnetism, you can generate electricity forever. So I was obsessed with that problem. And I got 100% marks in physics because I was obsessed with this package. You see, we don't have to learn Kirchhoff's law for the sake of that. We have to learn it for something else. And that something else we have to discover.
Did you try that in any scientific experiment?
Yeah. I built a perpetual motion machine in a chemistry version of that. Eventually. That there was a fountain which will run without human in the loop. So water will go up and it will suck water from this side and it will be nice.
Oh, okay. Like hydroelectric.
Interestingly, this is something that I've been talking to my 9th grader doctor about.
And we learned about vacuum and pressure and all that. So I think learning by doing is the better way than learning by reading. Right? Our NCERT books are filled with activities now.
Right, correct. Yes.
For that reason. We have changed our books in that way. So I think we skip them because exam mein activity nahi aayegi, wo aayega. But I think activity-based learning, teamwork, our schools should become hackathon centers, innovation centers. Schools should not become classrooms. The teacher is teaching, I'm learning. It's not like that. Schools should become round tables. Chalo, we are solving this problem today. Therefore, I need to learn something. I'll go to ChatGPT. I go to Claude, build something. I'll use this here. See, that kind of innovation first thinking will make our school systems really useful.
Right.
Otherwise, we'll be far left behind further.
Right.
Already jobs are not there. More jobs will not come. Right? If we remain like that.
Sir, thanks for coming here, sir. I genuinely lost track of time until my sir mentioned.
No problem.
Thanks a lot for coming here today. Genuinely a pleasure to have you.
My
Thank you.
Thank you, Shailesh.